Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and in this video I want to show you how to bead weave this little flower, which I quite easily turned into an earring, using Czech glass 2-hole half-moon shaped beads in combination with 11/0 Tohos and 6/0 Tohos. So here are the beads that I used for this project. So these are the little half-moon beads, and you can see they're a half circle with 2 holes. Now I also pulled out some extra colors here so you can get an idea that they do come in a variety of colors to choose from, so you can use them for this project or other projects. The color I'm using is white terracotta purple, and I really like it because it also shimmers a little bit of gold, which is fun. To pick up that gold, I'm using some frosted gold line crystal beads. These are 11/0 Tohos, paired with silver lined Milky Montana blue, size 6/0. Of course, you can use whatever color you want. So 11/0 Tohos, 6/0 Tohos, and these half moon beads. For the stringing material, I used crystal FireLine and size 0.008. And you can see with this particular design, that thread just disappeared. Now for the video, because I don't want to use a white thread on a white surface, it's going to be too hard to see, I'm going to use some Wildfire 0.008 thread in black. So you can use FireLine or Wildfire. Then you're also going to need a little earring hook, which I've got right here, and I like it because it has a little decorative ball at the top. And then in terms of tools, not too many. That's what's great about bead weaving projects. So you're going to need a needle, pair of chain nose pliers when it comes time to attach that earring hook, and just a pair of scissors, or if you have a thread zap, that works as well. All right, let's begin. We're going to need 6 of these little half moon beads. And we're going to need some thread. Okay, so you're going to need about 20 inches of this. You don't need a lot, because we're going to make each little flower individually. Now what I do like about these is it is flat on the back. So you could actually just attach this to some embroidery. So you can make this little piece and then sew it onto a piece of embroidery, which could be really pretty, and then embroider around it. So a lot you can do with it. Is nice that these are flat. So one quick tip when you're threading your needle, you can flatten the tip of FireLine and Wildfire by just squeezing it, and it flattens that tip ever so slightly, that it makes it easier to go into the eye of the needle, like so. All right, so now we're going to want to string on these half moon beads, and we want to make sure that they're all in the proper orientation, meaning that they're all right side up, so this curve is going the same direction. That's important for this project. I'll show you what I mean. So those two are properly oriented. Let me do one that's not. So this one would not be, because if I flipped it over, the flat side would be going against the rounds here. So we don't want to do that. So we want to make sure all of these are going in the same direction. The easiest way to do that is just string them all on your needle at the same time. There's only 6 of them, so they'll all fit. Okay, go ahead, slide them down. And you want them to go down to about 6 inches from your tail end. And now we're just going to make a loop and tie a knot. So there we go. Make sure they're all facing out. And we're going to do another knot. And right now I know it doesn't look like much, but it will. And for good measure, we're going to do one more. All right, so this is what we have so far. If you spread it out, don't worry about this tail, just leave it. We're going to incorporate it into the bead weaving at the very end. So I've got my tail with the needle attached, and I'm going to go through one of the holes I've already passed through. And then I'm going to jump up to one of the top outer holes. Now, if you're using a thread that matches your beads, like I did with this example here, which was the white thread, you're not going to see this little bridge, but I did want to do it in black for the video here. All right, so we jumped up to basically the second tier. Now we're going to string our beads. So we're going to take one 11/0 Toho, one 6/0, and one 11/0. And we're just going to go across to its, whoops, that happens a lot with beads. Okay, starting again. 11/0, 6/0, 11/0. and go across to the next hole over on that top tier, like so. We're going to do that with the next bead, and we're going to go all the way around our flower. If that other tail gets in there, just pull it out. So what you're doing by adding these beads is you're essentially evenly spacing your petals, which are the Czech glass half moon beads. So they're going to be nice and evenly spaced in the end. You're also building a really nice structure for them. And hopefully you think it looks pretty too. Okay, I'm coming to my last one. So this is what we have so far. I'm just going to complete it. Now, instead of coming out the hole right here, I'm going to try to go through a couple extra beads, just to give it a little bit more structure. Okay, so we have our outer rim complete. Now we want to jump back down to the base row, that interior row. Because you'll see in the example, I have little spacer beads between all the petals, or half moon beads, on that row. So we're ready to start the interior row. Now my needle's in the back because I shot through that bead. To bring it to the front, all you need to do is just put it through that little opening, and we're going to string on one of the 11 beads, and we're going to go through the hole that's in the next bead over and just pull it. And again, we're on the back side, so to go forward, bring your needle forward. We're going to do this all the way around. Last one. Okay, so now this is what we've got. So we've got the outer row as well as the interior row, and now all we have to do is add the center. Go ahead, bring your thread to the front again. There we go. And now we're going to want to go ahead and add one of the 11 O's, one more of the 6 O's, and one more of the 11 O's. Go ahead, scoot it down. I want to show you what it's going to look like before I put it into another hole. That's just going to drape across the front and fill in that gap. So stretch it across. See what hole you're going to want to put it through, and we're going to put it through one of the interior holes on that inner row of the half moon bead and pull it. That's what you have. Now go ahead, look where your thread is, and thread it through a couple more beads along that same row. And now we're going to tie a knot. To tie a knot, just go ahead, go under one of the thread bridges, grab the loop and pull your thread through it. And you can do that twice if you want. So now we need to get rid of this tail. If you feel your knot was secure, you can just trim it right there, or you can go ahead, thread your needle back onto it. That's why you left about 6 inches. And now we're going to go through at least one more bead. And now I'm just going to trim that tail. And this is what our finished piece looks like. And here you can see the original example. Now to put the earring hook on, it's very easy to do. You're just going to open the base of the earring hook, same way you'd open a jump ring. And we're just going to slide it through one of the open gaps, twist it around, and it's going to hang on the thread bridge. And then we're just going to close it back up. And there you have an earring. And of course, making an earring out of this little piece is just one use for it. You can link a bunch together to make a bracelet. You can embroider with them. A whole bunch of different things you can do. But this is how you bead weave a flower with Czech glass half moon shaped beads.